Hi guys, welcome to the devlog. It was almost a full week. On one day, I think it was Wednesday, they had to fix the power in my building, so I wasn't able to get anything done that day, but otherwise I was able to work almost a full week. Uh, this week was mainly bug fixes, but I did get some other features in, so let's get started. Bug number one, projectile collisions are missing sometimes. So this is just a screen capture of a little debugging session I did. This is the character controller and its collision geometry. This is a top view. It's a capsule collider. So this is a top view. This is the bullet, its last position, its current position, and this red line is the ray that it's drawing. So I'll just go ahead and hit play, and you can see I've just got a little debug. It should say hit if it hits it, but this is the current position of the character controller, and this is the ray, and as you can tell, it is not hitting. So I discovered this is a problem with the character controller, so I had to change things up and switch to normal physics. So let's look at a video of what it should do, and as I step through it. So that one it hit, deflected. So that bug is now fixed. Update no FPS actor physics to use rigid body capsule colliders, not character controller. So I had to do this in order to fix this bug. It's a little bit of work, but pretty straightforward. Player shouldn't slide down slopes. The character controller, it did that on its own. So now that I've switched to physics, I have to do that myself. So the way I handle it right now is whenever you're not moving, I increase the friction on the physics material. In the future, I should be able to adjust that. So if you're on a really steep slope, you'll slide down it. But as you can see right now, you can sit on a slope and not slide down it. And then when you are moving, it basically reduces the friction to 0, so you get nice sliding movement and you're not getting stuck on any kind of collision geometry. But when you have that at 0 and you're standing on a slope, it would have you slide down. So once you stop moving, I ramp up the friction. Player projectiles shouldn't self-collide. So now every time a player wants to shoot a projectile, he sends along his actor ID, and that way when the projectile system updates its physics, if it hits something, and it checks the actor ID and determines if it is a self-collision. This way you can put the emitter point for the projectile within the collision geometry of the player, and it's not going to collide. Projectiles occasionally freeze. This was me putting in a bad brake condition. Basically I should have used continue instead of brake, and so each time the player would stop moving, the projectiles would freeze. Fixed. You should be able to toggle walk speed. So now when you're running around, you can sprint, you can go at your normal speed, and then if you hit the left control button, you can slow down to walk speed. So, and then you hit it again to toggle back to the normal speed. You can also, while you're in walk speed, if there is danger, you can hit shift to sprint real quick, and then you go back to walk speed. This is just so the gameplay can be a little more tactical. Like if you're coming up to a corner, you want to move slowly, you can toggle on walk and just kind of slice the pie slowly. Players should see AI shoot only if they have line of sight. So if you look at the red bots and the green bots, they have these red line of sight debug lines in between them. So what happens is a bot, say this bot, anything that comes within a certain radius of him, he tracks and he knows where they are. But you don't want them to ever kind of shoot at one of these other players if they're behind a wall. So what they'll occasionally do, every couple milliseconds, is they'll fire a ray at all their targets, and they'll check the distance between them and the target, and them and whatever that ray hit. And if it's shorter than they know that that target is behind a wall and they can't see them. So you can see as they move and they get line of sight and then they lose it. You see these debug lines disappear. So these next two kind of go together. Player should be able to change teams, and player should be able to see team color and HUD. So we're finally getting into some mechanics. One of the mechanics I wanted to explore is team killing, and like killing guys on your team for resources. And the other mechanic I wanted to explore is the ability to change which team you're on mid-game. So I've implemented this at the basic level. So now I'm on the red team. So now I have a reticle. And if you mouse scroll up, I'm now on the green team. And I can kill these guys. They're my green buddies, but the red guys don't know I'm behind them and I can kill them. Quite a few teams. So orange, black, purple. So now you can change teams. Projectiles are showing in the HUD camera. So before I was using Graphics Draw Mesh Now, which renders meshes in every camera. So I had to switch that to Graphics Draw Mesh, where you can specify which camera you want the mesh to render in. Players should see the same projectile and team color. So for this one, we've kind of already seen that when you switch teams. So I'm red now, but I want to be green. Now the projectiles are green. So I have quite a few teams. So there's just a matter of setting up different materials for the projectile render. Players should see AI move around the playground using cover. So this one I could probably break it up into a couple tasks, but for now, the first thing I needed to implement was a cover system, so the player or the AI actually knows what cover is. So with this tool, you can draw a 2D profile of the cover. So this would be a top-down view of a wall with a little bump out here. I added it so you can edit the points. And it adjusts, and then you can set the angle of danger. So an AI can say, oh, I have danger, say, coming from what would be the north here. And it will say, okay, well, these walls are actually exposed to that danger, and these ones are safe. So now the AI will be able to have some sort of understanding of what cover is safe and what isn't. And then if you just move this around, you can see how it adjusts. Basically what it's doing is it's taking a point in the center of this segment and drawing a line towards the danger, and if it intersects with any other line in this shape, then it knows that it's safe. All right, that's it for this week. If you have any questions about the project or game development in general, just leave me a comment. Devlog 3 finished. If you want to see more of my videos, please click like and subscribe. If you'd like to support the development of these videos, then please visit my Patreon page. Thanks for watching. See you!